In this video, I'm going to go through combat actions for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I'm mainly making this video so my players can get a quick rundown of what they can do, so it just isn't about moving and attacking. I figure this will help other players as well. I'll be using Fantasy Grounds to play out the examples here. The basic form of action in combat is simply taking a move and taking an action. There's also something called bonus actions and reactions, both which we'll cover in a bit. You also get to do a free, simple interaction with an object. This is something like drawing a weapon, sheathing a weapon, opening a door or closing a door, grab a potion from your pack, or pick up a weapon off the ground. You get the point. Something simple, so in D&D 5th there's no need to take an action just to draw your weapon anymore. Let's quickly take a look at moving and taking an action. You can break these up, meaning you can move and then take an action, or move, take an action, and then move, as long as you move up to your maximum movement. For example, this fighter will move 10 feet up to this orc, take an attack, and then move away. However, doing this, remember, if the orc isn't dead, it will provoke an opportunity of attack from it. If the fighter has multiple attacks, he can further break those attacks up with his movement. In this example, the fighter has 2 attacks, and will move 10 feet, take an attack with the orc, then move 10 feet, and then attack the ogre. Again, if the orc didn't die, he will provoke an attack of opportunity from it. At this point, we need to talk about bonus action and reactions, both of which are limited to 1 per round. A bonus action is an additional action you can take during your turn. You can receive these bonus actions from certain skills and abilities and spells that have a casting time of 1 bonus action. A reaction is a trigger that can happen within a round. For example, you might have an ability in which an enemy attacks you. As a reaction, you get a free attack against that enemy back. The other example, the spell Featherfall, can only be cast during a reaction when you or someone is falling within 60 feet of you. Reaction usually happens, but not always, outside of your turn within the current round. As with attacking, spellcasters can use their action to cast a 1-action spell. For example, this wizard moves 20 feet, casts his firebolt at the orc, and then moves 10 feet. Here's another example. The wizard casts a magic weapon spell on his friend's sword as a bonus action, moves 20 feet, and then casts his firebolt at the orc. Since the magic weapon spell does not have a time specific for when it can be cast, the wizard can choose when to use the bonus action within his move action economy. Dash is an action you can take to double your base movement. Remember that this extra movement is still affected by terrain. In this example, the hunter wants to reach some cover before he can start to shoot. He declares dash and runs behind cover before he starts to shoot in his next round. Disengage is an action that allows you to move out of combat without provoking an opportunity attack from enemies. In this example, our wizard has gotten himself into combat with an orc. He declares a disengage movement and then moves out of the range of the orc without provoking an opportunity attack, and then as his bonus action casts his expeditious retreat, which gives the wizard dash. He moves another 30 feet and positions himself behind his companions for some protection. Help is another action that you can take to aid your companions in doing something, and that gives them the advantage on their next roll. For example, a companion goes down, you and another person in your party can attempt to stabilize the downed companion. One of you actually makes the roll and the other helps them do it. This will give an advantage to the one applying the medicine skill, allowing him to roll 2 20-sided dice and applying the highest roll. This can also be applied in combat. As long as you're within 5 feet of the creature you and your companion is attacking, you can help him with the attack, giving him an advantage on his next roll. This comes by the way of probably you distracting the creature somehow or making funny faces at it. Hide is an action you can do when you want to avoid combat. Hiding can only be done if the enemy doesn't see where you're hiding. It would be pretty useless if the enemy watches you jump into a garbage can, right? Search is another action you can take, which is pretty self-explanatory. Use an object is an action you can use to interact with an object that requires more forethought than just simply drawing a weapon. This may be pulling a lever to spring a trap or completely switching out your weapons in the middle of combat. The last action we're going to talk about is the ready action. The ready action is to ready yourself to react to a trigger. This requires you to use up your reaction for the round. Here's a good example of using a ready action. The wizard initiative is at the top of the turn. However, he doesn't want to attract any attention by shooting off spells or something, so first he'll move his 30 feet and then he'll ready his action. His trigger is that once the fighter has finished his combat move against the ogre, he will shoot a firebolt in his face. Once the fighter engages the ogre, he can choose to cast a spell after the fighter makes his attack. He can opt to also ignore the trigger. Let's just say in this example the fighter took out the ogre, so there's no more target left, so you dissipate your spell. I forgot to film the footage on the dodge action. When you take the dodge action, you concentrate on just avoiding attacks. Until the start of your next turn, anything attacking you will have a disadvantage to the rolls, assuming that you can see the attacker. You also get advantage to any dexterity saving throws. That's pretty much the basics of actions in combat. Again, I love quick thinking and planning over the simple I move and attack in combat, so be sure to read over those spells and abilities and get your quick thinking hat on. That's it for this video, guys. I hope it helped you guys out, and for my players, I'll see you out there on the table, and for everyone else, I'll see you in the next video.